the Edinburgh Student Arts Festival start?
So Brianna, founder, started it when she was on student council at the university, Edinburgh University. So it was started as part of the university, and then I think it grew into something that she wanted to be across all of the universities in Edinburgh, as opposed to just University of Edinburgh. And when she finished there, she kept working on it basically and took it away from the university and into its own separate organisation, and then it got registered as a social enterprise, so it actually has quite a specific goal now outside of and then it grew to work with graduates as well, rather than just people who are current students. I think the focus is kind of always the same, but it grows and it develops, because there's two sides of it really, which the people who benefit directly from the festival, which is the creatives, so the artists and performers who are involved in it, who actually have this kind of infrastructure put together where they can show their work really easily. And then there's people on the other side of it who do the kind of arts administration stuff, who are early career professionals who are maybe struggling to get their first jobs or whatever, or people who are in university who are trying to work out what they're good at. So those are the two groups who really benefit directly from it. And then obviously the idea is that not just students will come, and it's not just going to be their friends and families, but actually people who live in Edinburgh. Because I think Edinburgh has this, it has a festival which is amazing, and there's all this stuff going on for 1 month of the year. So it'd be so it'd be really nice to see that go through the year, and I think that's one of the things that ESAF is trying to do as well.
Because it is a shame that people who are living here throughout the majority of the year are missing that one specific time.
And people don't know what the students are up to as well, and I think if you're interested in arts, then if you look at what students are doing, then that's what's going to be really big in the next 5 or 10 years, I think. So you can actually see what's
trends are
I think it's just a really interesting way of looking at the arts a bit differently, rather than just looking at what's already established. There were some of the performances that were just amazing, and so many people came back from stuff and it's nothing I've ever seen, because people can be more experimental, because it's a £10 registration fee or something for a performer, so you can come and you can just say look, I'm going to do a one-person show, and then it turns out amazing, and you're well, that was almost no risk to myself, and I just did something. So I think every year there's a couple of standout things. There are the awards coming up, which I think the results haven't been announced yet, but it'll be interesting to see what people thought were the outstanding works from this year. But it kind of grows every year in how many people participate and in how many people attend, because a lot of it is going to be word of mouth. So I think it's been kind of a complicated year in a lot of ways, in terms of it finding its feet, because it gets bigger and bigger every year, but then you learn from that every year. So I spoke to a couple of the award winners from last year. So Tiffany, who won for performance, she is an actress really, but she put on this one-woman show. And she said that it really pushed her. She just signed up and thought, I'll just pay my £10, and then they gave her a slot, and she was like, oh my god, I need to make a show now. So she had this idea for a show, and then she couldn't find another person to do it with her, so she ended up doing it by herself, and she won the award for best performance. And then she went on to do a bunch of physical theatre. She took it to Bristol. It's been to St Andrews and stuff as well, so she's done quite well off the back of the show. And she said she would never have done it in the way that she did if it hadn't been for someone else having put the infrastructure there for her already. So I think a huge part of it is that people are pushed a little bit to say well, you have this amazing opportunity and you've already paid your money, and now we've scheduled you, so you have to do something. Go and make some work. And then with Claire, who won the visual art prize last year, she was saying that it just getting feedback and stuff is so great, because and obviously she won the prize, so that's a lot of positive feedback, but it makes you more confident in what you're doing. So you start thinking, well, maybe I'm on the right track here, and I actually should just explore this a little bit more. So I think for creative people who can be quite, it's a difficult thing to do, isn't it? To put yourself out there. and it's like actually like literally difficult to book a space and like produce something and whatever, then it's also like emotionally difficult to like expose yourself. So I think having this big network around you is really useful, and I think because it's put together by young arts professionals or people who want to make a living doing the arts administration stuff, everybody's learning, so there's no pressure. Like, and if you think this isn't the best thing I've ever done and this is probably the most public thing I've ever done, then it still doesn't matter because you're still
everyone's in it.
and everyone's learning, so yeah.